starting with State Oil Company, who has really done an immense job through the years to start creating the pathway for local development, together with all the other players that are coming on board, the IOCs, and the other companies that are on board, to make sure that we create the best pathway. Why do we need this conference? This conference, and I must say that we got the buy-in from almost every stakeholder. This conference is important because we know that there's an FID that is about to take place. There are more jobs, more opportunities to come into Suriname. So it's very important for us as a country to make sure that we make sure that all those small bits and pieces come together. And we do, I must say that I'm very proud to see that every organization that is important for local content development, at least the one that could make it, are here. So this conference is to bring clarity to where we're heading to, what is the roadmap, where are we going to when it comes to local content development. This is a conference that has to make sure that we also work towards development in a collaborative way, that all stakeholders, that we are in contact with each other, talk to each other and make decisions together. And thirdly, but last but not least, is this conference is very important that we network to make sure that the public sector and the private sector are aligned. I want to thank everybody that made the time to be here. I want to start to thank the President, who, when I called the cabinet, it was just a yes. I want to thank the Minister of Economic Affairs, that when I called and I said, we need you to be there as important minister, it was a second yes. When I called the embassy to ask if they can participate, it was a third yes. So I'm very grateful that you made the time to be here. I also want to be thankful to Mrs. Arlene from the local, the head of the local content development board, who gave me every support that I needed. State Oil Company, who was ready before I was ready. They were even ready and supported us. Mr. Dennis Pello supported us all the way. I call him every day, but he's always cool off and he's always ready. I also want to thank our sponsors that sponsored us. That is the FINA Bank as our gold sponsor, Havenbeheer as our gold sponsor, also MAS as our gold sponsor. I want to thank them also. And I also want to thank Staatsolie, who supported us financially also, and also supported us especially to make this day possible. Thank you very much. And I want to thank also Total Energy. From the first time that I spoke to their head, he says, when it comes to local content development, that is our thing. We're going to be there. And they kept their promise. But I especially want to thank you, because with all of this, if you were not present, it would be nothing. So I want to ask you to give yourself a round of applause for being here. With this, on this note, I want to thank you and ask the MC to take over. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Ollenberg. My name is Maverick Buyuku, and I will be your MC for today. The next speaker is the Minister of Economic Affairs, Entrepreneurship, and Technological Innovation, the Honorable Ms. Kuldeep Singh. Give her a hand.
President of the Republic of Suriname, His Excellency Chandrika Prasad Santokhi, U.S. Ambassador to the Republic of Suriname, Ambassador Foucher, Arlene Emmanuels, Chair of the Local Content Board, Marnidal Vogelaan, President and CEO, Fossil Energy Consultancy Suriname, NV, and all other distinguished guests, a very good morning to you all. First of all, let me wish you all and empower every woman today at International Women's Day. Let's encourage each other and work hard under the leadership of our President to make this country to come there where we want to be. It is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you today as we gather for this seminar on local content development for economic growth, hosted by the esteemed Suriname Energy Chamber, SEC. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the SEC for orchestrating this essential event and for extending the innovation to me to serve as your keynote speaker. As the Minister of Economic Affairs, Entrepreneurship and Technological Innovation, I'm deeply committed to driving forward initiatives that promote economic growth and prosperity in our nation. The theme of today's seminar resonates deeply with the mission of the Ministry, highlighting the crucial role that local content development plays in fostering sustainable economic growth. One of the fundamental pillars of our Ministry's strategy is to support entrepreneurship and innovation. We firmly believe that by empowering entrepreneurs and fostering a culture of innovation, we can unlock new opportunities for economic advance and job creation. Through various programs and initiatives, we are committed to providing entrepreneurs with the support and resources they need to thrive in today's competitiveness business environment. Access to finance is another critical aspect of our Ministry's effort to support economic development. We recognize that access to capital is often a significant barrier for entrepreneurs, particularly for small and medium-sized entrepreneurs. That's why we have implemented programs such as Surge Project, a matching grant program funded by the World Bank to provide entrepreneurs with the financial resources they need to grow and expand their business. In addition, the Surge Project, our ministry also operates the SME Fund, which offers loans to SMEs at favorable terms. These loans are designed to provide SMEs with the capital they need to invest in their businesses, expand their operations, and create jobs in our communities. Furthermore, we understand the importance of certification in enhancing the competitiveness of our local businesses. That's why we have established institutions such as Suriname Bureau of Standards and the Bureau of Intellectual Property at the Ministry to ensure that our business meets international standards of quality and innovation. As we come together today to discuss the importance of local content development for economic growth, let us confirm our commitment to supporting entrepreneurship, expanding access to finance, and promoting innovation in Suriname. Together we can build a brighter and more prosperous future for all Surinamese citizens. In closing, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Suriname Energy Chamber for organizing this seminar and for the dedication to promote economic development in Suriname. I look forward to engage in fruitful discussions with all of you and explore new opportunities for collaboration and partnerships. Thank you all.
Thank you. The next speaker is the U.S. Ambassador to the Republic of Suriname, Ambassador Robert Voucher.
Thank you very much. President Santoki, it's an honor to be here. Minister Kuldip Singh, Mr. Omlik, Emmanuels. It is an honor for me to be here at this conference, and I want to thank everyone here for the invitation. And I'd like to congratulate the Suriname Energy Chamber for organizing this event. And I especially want to thank them for doing this event in English, so it's a little easier for me. I was telling the minister earlier that in English, I'm kind of struck by the number of languages people can speak here in Suriname. And in English, we call them polyglots, because they speak so many different languages. And then, also in English, when you see someone who speaks two languages, you call them bilingual. But in English, when you talk about somebody who speaks one language, you call them an American. So thank you. We're here, I think, because we all understand and agree that developing local content policies will maximize Suriname's labor potential, and it will be critical to growing Suriname's economy in a way that will benefit all Surinamers. Today's forum will create a space for both the government and the private sector to come together to find modern, transparent, and business-friendly solutions to improving Suriname's local content policies. Now, I'm very happy that Minister Kuldip Singh is here today and even mentioned it, because today's event takes place on the International Women's Day. And this event is an important reminder that any plans and any policies to prepare and enhance the local workforce must also include women and must include them fully. I sincerely believe that Suriname's workforce will be best prepared for the challenges and opportunities ahead if it reflects Suriname's diversity. And we know that economies will grow faster and democracies are more stable when all people in the country participate equitably and equally in the developments that are ahead of us. Now, Suriname, I believe, is at the onset of an unprecedented period of development of its oil and gas sector. And I speak regularly with U.S. companies who are eager to enter the Surinamese market. They want to participate in the developments that will be happening here. And they all tell me the same thing. They want high-quality local partners. They want a transparent and predictable environment in which to conduct business. In other words, they just want a level playing field to come here, invest, and do business. Now, U.S. businesses are searching for high-quality local partners. What do they mean? Well, this is kind of supply-driven. To be competitive, local businesses here need to have the skills to meet their customers' needs. They need to come up to the international standards and not expect the companies to come down. It is critical that local companies and local business suppliers be able to provide quality products, quality services at international standards. They need to partner with international business so that they can have business investors in all these markets. Now, I recently learned, as you know, and this is the year of democracy, there are elections throughout the world, including in the United States. But it's a little ahead of the election that will happen here in May of 2025. And I've been talking to people about that election, and I recently learned something that really shocked me. There will be 40,000 first-time voters in your May 2025 elections. 40,000. That is 40,000 young Surinamers who are entering not only the electoral scene for the first time, but the labor market. This is a great opportunity. And Suriname should seize this opportunity through its investment and development and prepare those new members of the electorate and workforce for full participation in Suriname's future. And I believe this kind of opportunity comes once in a generation, and I believe we want to be with Suriname as they move forward in that, both the American government and American businesses. To do that, we see training and education as a key. It's a key to addressing the challenge of these new members of your workforce. Suriname and its local companies must invest in the development of its workforce today. This will pay dividends as your economy grows, and the demands for local skilled labor will increase. We are here as an embassy to help connect Surinamese businesses with U.S. partners. And I would emphasize that the American companies are going to be looking for policies that I mentioned before that are transparent, realistic, and achievable in terms of local content. They will look at those as they evaluate the business environment here and where they wish to come in. So I hope that Suriname's local content policy will provide U.S. companies with a framework to enter Suriname, a framework that is transparent, realistic, and achievable, and that creates opportunities not only for our businesses, but for the local workforce. Now, U.S. businesses are not looking for performance requirements. They're not looking for quotas or other measures that are onerous or disproportionate or in some ways disadvantages them from entering the market. That's not what they consider a playing field. They hope that the Surinamese government will make it easier for our businesses to operate in Suriname. Unfortunately, there are areas for improvement right now. We need to have better processes to open a business here for outsiders. We need a smoother process to get a residency permit here, which is very difficult right now. We need smoother processes for labor permits and opening bank accounts and all the simple steps that businesses are looking for. Suriname needs to step up and make this as easy and facilitate these processes as much as possible. Taking those simple steps, I believe, will help Suriname improve its position on the friendliness of doing business index that you see published annually. Now, these processes, once achieved, will help attract U.S. firms, and that is crucial. The ease of doing business will be a crucial factor as we move forward with the development of Suriname and improve the local workforce here. So respectfully, we hope that Suriname will take some steps to make improvements in these areas. I believe that with good legislation and with the sincere political will, this Surinamese government can and will do this and will empower the private sector here to do this. But the private sector, in its turn, needs to continue to lead the way on this. This is really driven by business. It is not going to be driven by the government. So by hosting this event, especially, I believe private sector here is already beginning to lead the way. And so this is the time for Suriname government, Suriname leaders, and Suriname businesses to invest. Invest with proper incentives from the government, invest to deliver world-class products and services, invest in your workforce. And the United States will be looking to all of you and working with you as you unlock Suriname's potential with the coming oil and gas boom. And we believe the economy will grow, Suriname will grow, and a development will happen here that will benefit everyone and set Suriname on the path of prosperity, stability, security, and greater democracy for the next 50 years. Now, we heard earlier from Mr. Olmberg about the U.S. impact on Suriname through Alcoa and Suralco. And I believe it is in many ways an amazing story. I can tell you the number of times I go and talk to somebody and they say, oh yeah, my uncle worked for Suralco. Oh, my grandfather was there. My father did this. And they sent me on training and they did this. It was a huge way of helping develop Suriname and its local workforce. And I sincerely believe that the oil and gas industry can and will do the same over the next 30 years. So I hope you're ready for it, and I'm very excited to see where Suriname will be going. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Now I would like to welcome His Excellency, President of the Republic of Suriname, the Honorable Chandrika Persad Santokhi.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. Good morning, all of you, Minister, Ambassador of the United States of America, head and members of the local content board, all other representatives from national and international companies, organizations. Welcome. Let me also make good use of this opportunity to present my congratulations also to all the women on the occasion of the International Day of the Women. We need to empower them. and particularly on this topic of local content. Let us do everything to give the women all the opportunities. What the women want is equal opportunity to get access to the local content market. But I cannot stand there and not making any remarks. So let me continue with my congratulations, because yesterday at the IMF office in Washington, the other review was approved on the staff level on the Surinamese economic reform. And that's good news, because there's a signal from an international institution that we are on the right path after 3.5 years of our administration, that we went through a multiple crisis with tremendous impact on the community, on the society. My people, our people sacrifice, but yes, we are out of the deep crisis and on a path of economic growth now. So this meeting, this conference is very important when we enter the third stage of our development after the recovery stage, the stability stage, and now we are engaged in a stage of economic growth. And if you read the report of the IMF, their projection is 3% economic growth for this year, starting 3.5 years with minus 16%. And now here we are. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, you can applaud yourself. Once again, welcome. It gives me a great pleasure to be here as president and to address you to the SEC Local Content Conference, the conference with the theme Local Content Development for Economic Growth. And that is crucial for all the major players in the Suriname energy industry. The market is potential, enormous in Suriname, and the potential goes beyond the oil and gas industry to include a variety of sectors. Sectors as infrastructure, transportation, information technology, food and beverages, entertainment, housing, labor, and small and medium-sized enterprises. Yes, there should be frequent structural consultation between the local content board, the multinationals, and others, because we cannot develop the local content policy isolatedly. You need to do it with the public sector, with the private sector, with the international companies, but moreover, with our people. Our view as government is, an ambassador, we make it very easy for the world. And I announced that at the International Oil and Gas Conference in Guyana last year. Maybe you don't have a law like Guyana on the definition of local content, but we do have a vision. We do have a strategy on local content. And for foreign companies, it means local content is every company registered at our Chamber of Commerce. That is local content. So if your company is registered here, you're local content. And you can benefit from all the opportunities and the incentives. And I don't know if a representative from Petronas is here, but we get a request from the international oil company Petronas 2 weeks ago that they are ready to start with their exploitation on the gas. in Block 52. They're also engaged in 53. But they are looking for incentives from the government, and they presented a request on getting the exemption on the income tax. And we approved it as government this Wednesday in the Government Council. This is the type of incentives we are giving, because we can consider them also as local content. They are registered here. So, Ambassador, I'm inviting all the companies. I was last year in the United States and had addressed a very distinguished council, diplomatic council, you know it, with the captain of industry. And after my address, in which I explained Suriname, the opportunities, the business, the local content, the oil and gas, and there were 3 companies there. Coca-Cola was there, Newmont was there, I think Apache was there, one more. And they encouraged the meeting also to invest in Suriname. But more than 90% of the captains of industry were present there. They were not aware where Suriname was. And they heard of Suriname when the oil and gas was the scam. Oh, it is here. I thought it was there. So we have to do something also on the side of the private cooperation. We have very strong cooperation between Suriname and United States on the level of government, on the level of government institutions, on the level of public sector teams. But there should be more engagement on the private sector. And that was my message also to all the representatives I'm getting from the US. We presented so many expressions of interest. A huge investment. Bridge, West Suriname, bauxite, waste management. Maybe the ambassador should guide all this expression of interest to the private sector also of the United States, because I'm not seeing the response on that. So I'm urging you to make good use of all these opportunities. But let me continue that our policy as government is one of looking where we're heading in our development. And based on that, to invest in several types of sectors. If we consider the oil and gas as a very important pillar of our future development, which it is, how you can design a local content strategy without investment in education, without investing in business schools, without investing in the mechanisms which should improve our company in competitiveness. I'll give you one example. We had presented our expression of interest on the Quarantine Bridge over the Quarantine River. 0 Surinamese company. 0 Surinamese company. All are international companies. That's a signal for even building a bridge that our companies are not ready. So we need them to make ready to build more bridges for the future. That's why I instructed the CEO of State Oil 2 years ago, no, 2.5, almost 3 years ago when I took office. We need to invest in the education system when we want to develop local content in oil and gas. And last year, we opened at Naten the oil and gas stream in education. But we need to do that on all the other levels of education, because I'm seeing local content, investing, yes, in apartments, in housing. It's good. We have to do that. But when you ask them for who and for what, yes, oil and gas, we're getting a lot of expats. We're getting expats, not Surinamese people. The question is what we need to do to invest in Surinamese people, that they will become the future expats. There's a challenge. And I hope the education system is here also present. Because if you want to develop a bright future for our people, you need to adjust, amend your education system. If you know the agriculture will be the other pillar for the food security in the world, where is our education system on that? Yes, very good that everyone can become a lawyer, an economist, an administrator. It's good. We need that. But if we acknowledge that those pillars are the pillars of the future, then we need to start there. But we need to start also at home by encouraging our children to choose a study in the other sectors than in the traditional sectors. The mindset of our young people need to be changed also by the parents, by the surroundings. And I'll give you an example. When I was campaigning in the district of Nikeri, and I saw the rice sector having a lot of challenge. We saw the drought, the impact of the drought. And there were 120 young people over there. And I asked them, who is willing to continue in the rice business of their family, of their parents? And there were only 5. So if that's the truth, then we have a serious problem in the rice sector, that there is no future. But my second question was, because that question was addressed based on the necessity of having an agriculture education center in Nikeri. But the second question was, if there will be a science-based training center, school for you, where you can educate yourself to become bachelor, master, doctor, professor in agriculture, in food specialist, in development of new variety in the agriculture, in investment in modern technology for the rice production, then more than 3/4 was yes. So the perception is that the agriculture is still in the old-fashioned way, while the modern agriculture is with new technology. And therefore we need also the change of mindset of people and invest. Because we had experienced Alcoa. We have experienced Uralco. They are gone. And now we're sitting with West Suriname, starting again with the bauxite industry. Where are our people? But if 100 years ago, we should initiate a university for natural resources, then we should now control our own natural resources in the gold sector, in the mining sector, in the oil and gas sector, in the bauxite sector. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are challenges. but I'm seeing a lot of opportunities in the infrastructure, the shore base. I'm seeing engagement between the international oil companies, international companies with local content. A lot of shore base, I don't know if you're aware, a lot of shore base investment are going on at this moment between foreign companies and local companies. Building the bridge will be one of our conditions. You need to cooperate with the local content, local contractors. But we see also the involvement of the private sector, the readiness for the oil and gas. They are investing in the hotel industry, in the apartment industry, in international mall, but also in business to benefit from the oil and gas, which started so many years ago already. So, based on the policy of the government, yes, our investment legislation is not completed yet. We hired some experts to support us in designing a good investment legislation, which should fit in country's reality, but also to provide incentives to local and foreign investors, to give guidance into easing of processes. Yes, Ambassador, the issue of the permit is an issue. Since last year, 3 ministers are involved. There's a proposal, and we need to bring that proposal to the government so that it can be an institution comprising of all the ministries, foreign affairs, justice and police, labor, economic affairs, to ease the process. It was in place so many years ago when I was Minister of Justice and Police. It will happen again. And you will get the announcement very soon on that. But also issues like connectivity. I'm just coming from a CARICOM, Heads of Conference, Guyana. And one of the topic was the integration of South America, Latin America, and the Caribbean, and that connectivity is a condition. And my response was that if you all agree that the connectivity must be in place by air, by water, let us be very pragmatic. And I gave as example the connection between Suriname and Brazil. I don't know if you're aware. We have 5 flights per week between Suriname and Brazil. 5. 3 times Gulf, 2 times Suriname Airways. 5. Belém, Paramaribo. We have everyday flight from Suriname to Guyana, to Trinidad. We have regular flight now from Suriname to Barbados. We have flights from Guyana to the Caribbean islands. But what we need to do is to bring the governments, the public sector, the private sector, the airlines company together, put them in one room, and let them discuss and decide about connectivity by making arrangements, by signing agreement, not to be protective, but create open markets. Then you will see things will work. It's not that difficult. We need to cooperate better. And the governments should be there to support and to facilitate. And then we'll connectivity between Caribbean and South Americans. So, yes, we will start with a pilot project of the ferry connection between Trinidad, Barbados, and Guyana as a pilot. Then it will be expanded to Suriname. Then we review how this is working, but only based on engagement of the private sector. So I hope that our local content is ready to take part in this kind of development. Because very often we are seeing as a distance approach. But if you want to know how these things are working, connections between country and ferry, here we have Nigeria and Guyana, everyday ferry, with connectivity, with transshipment. Learn from us. Don't try to do new things. It's existing. Evaluate. And I was listening to the discussion. Yes, we need to put the administration in place, the license conditions, the insurance. Don't do it. Look how we are doing with Suriname and Guyana, with all these things in place. Use it, improve it, expand it. Instead of having a bilateral mechanism, create a trilateral or multilateral mechanism for the operation. So there are a lot of opportunities. Don't forget, local content investment in Suriname is investment in the Caribbean. It's for a Caribbean market. It's for a Caribbean economy. It's not only for the 600,000 people. It's a million market there. So, ladies and gentlemen, a lot has been said already on the local content. As government, we will support the local content strategy. That's why the local content council is placed on the highest level of the government, the cabinet of the president, headed by the permanent secretary, Mevrouw Mrs. Emmanuel and her team, but also that we as government are willing to listen to you, to your advice, to your guidance, how we can strengthen and improve the ease of doing business with Suriname. We are not at a very comfortable place on the ranking of ease of doing business. Yes, we need a better position. We can gain a better position if we are willing to take the responsibility jointly and start with the simple things to change. There will be some things which need to be approved in the parliament, will take more time, but there are so many other things you can change with policy by amending the regulations, by having the mechanisms strengthened, the capacity strengthened, the cooperation among all the bodies improved, then things will work better. So let us, local content, look also on the topic of ease of doing business with the private sector, with the public sector, with all the institutions. It's very important. In closing, to the international oil and gas company who are here, you can count on the government. We are willing to listen to you. But I'm also listening to the criticism of the local companies, local content, why we are not getting those incentives like the foreign companies. And yes, it is a right call. That's why we need the investment legislation to create provisions, create incentives, create facilities for all companies in Suriname. But we're still facing challenges. But one thing we need to underscore, we cannot sit in that comfort zone. We need to come out of the comfort zone. We need to do things in a different way. We need to do things with better cooperation and collaboration. We need to include the community. And we had tough discussions. I listened to the voice of the Minister of Economic Affairs last Wednesday, and today there will be press conference, 3 o'clock, on the amendment of the energy prices. It will be a challenge. It will be a challenge. But we have to go through. We have to go through. We cannot take as country half measures. We have to complete the program to create a strong and stable fundament for future development. And yes, we have to decide once after 50, 60 years that we cannot administer the country by subsidies and subsidies and subsidies. We cannot administer the country by taking loan and investing in consuming policies. And therefore we need investment by local content, by foreign content, for the production, for job creation, for economic growth, for the export, for generating more foreign currency. And that is what we need to promote. My government had offered more than 300,000 hectares of land for serious investors. Yes, we see them coming. They are getting the land. Canadian companies, Brazilian companies, Guyanese companies, Surinamese companies, Chinese companies, they are getting the land. But we're controlling, we're monitoring, with condition. You have to produce, you have to support the local content, you have to train the local community, you have to design outreach strategies for local farmers, train them, and put the production facilities for export. In closing, I want to present my gratitude to the organization, the local content board, the Energy Council, all the representatives who are here for this initiative, for your participation. And I hope that with your participation we can get such an outcome which can strengthen our policy on local content, which can support also the local content board in designing and completing the local content strategy. And furthermore, I'm inviting you to be part of the local content strategy. You're the local content. We need your input. We need your view. Thank you very much, and I'm wishing you a fruitful and a successful day, and I declare this seminar for open. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Please rise for the... Yes. Please rise for the President. Suriname also in the room with their day, our beautiful women, our mothers, our sisters, our daughters. You know, without them, there's no backbone in the family, there's no backbone in society. So I think that should be said. Even in our organization, women play a very important role, especially today. So the next speaker is, the next keynote speaker is Dr. Arlene Emanuels. She's the chair of the Local Content Board, and she'll be talking about the Presidential Local Content Board. Welcome her, please.
Good morning, Minister of Economic Affairs, Mrs. Reshma Kuldip-Singh, the U.S. Ambassador, Mr. Rob Fulcher, the representatives of the international and national companies and authorities, all the people here in the room who will make it come true. Good morning. My name is Arlene Emanuels. I'm the chair of the Presidential Local Content Board. And I am for showing this initiative, putting effort being part of this organization, for the invitation and making it possible. Thank you, whoever is in the organization. Good. Let me start with, oh, this is, okay, yeah. They asked me about a topic, and actually I didn't have one, but I would like to address, yeah, this topic, but not right away. So I will start with the introduction of our local content board and the scope. Also, and then I will come to the natural resource curse and Dutch disease. Just addressing it. It's not going to be a lecture, but well, you'll see. Good. Yes, we are members of the Local Content Board. My name is Arlene Emanuels. I'm the chair. Sima Manbot is the secretary. Reshma Kargu is representative of the cabinet van de president. Wilgo Bilkerdijk is the representative of ASFA. Hans Hiralal, representative of the VSB. And Danielle Hercule, representative of Staatsolie. In the picture, now I have to be careful what, yes, I thought so. Where is the pointer? Anyone? The pointer? Yes, but I will need a pointer for later on. So, but anyway, this the pointer? Yeah, did I get it? That's not working. Anyway, okay. And I cannot see from here. That's why I am doing this. But in the middle, we have the president. And then starting from left to right, it's Mrs. Sima Manbot. And then we have Reshma Kargu and Wilgo Bilkerdijk, president. Then me, and Danielle Hercule next to me, and Hans Jalal. Okay, this is the board, and we've been installed August 22nd in last year. Okay, how is it built up? It's like 4 tiers, layers, so you want. It's the national tiers for the development of local content, how we see it. And as an umbrella, we have the local content board for developing and sustaining a local content strategy and policy. Then we have the institutional direction, the institutions like the Bureau of Standards, the Bureau mentioned earlier, the Bureau of Intellectual Property, university or other educational institutions.